am Harvey Blanco, and I'm a second-year student of Industrial Management and Innovation master's degree. And I'm part of the Catfish project. Catfish is mainly a mechanism to monitor and to control pollution present in water in a simplified way. So that is the idea behind the artifact that we are working on. So actually, myself and Alireza, we started the team when we attended a meeting with Kalyani and Joaquin Tell, where the central point of discussion was how to monitor and control pollution in the Baltic Sea. So we started a journey with Alireza, and this journey involved researching about how institutions and researchers are currently monitoring water bodies. And we discovered they are deploying a complex system in where human resource is highly required. We also discovered that the main problem of the Baltic Sea was not plastic or big particles pollution. Instead, it is mainly chemical pollution. So after the research that we did, we decided with Alireza not to focus on the Baltic Sea problem. Instead, we wanted to tackle the problem from the roots, and the roots are the rivers, which are the channels transporting this pollution into the sea. So, as I said before, since the equipment deployed for water monitoring currently is expensive and complex, and it requires a lot of human resources, we decided to create an artifact, a technology based on simplicity, where human resources are not required for its deployment. So how is the drone idea came out? Since the simplicity of drone technology when deploying remote activities. So what problem I am solving in the Catfish? Since my background is in industrial engineering and my master's degree is in industrial management and innovation, we are kind of managing the project management of the artifact development, as well as the innovation management of the team. This is what I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to deploy within the team. I expect to increase my skills in product development as well as team management. I would love to do the transition from coordination of projects to actually diving into the management of them. So this is a great step, great experience for me. From my perspective, the main challenge that we face is the management of resources in the levels of equipment, knowledge, and economic, since they all have boundaries and they are limited. So the challenge for us is to maximize the resources that we have and make 100% use of them in order to create a valuable artifact. Our team is amazing. We we have different backgrounds, different specialties, but one joint idea, which is create technology in order to solve environmental issues. So this is how we work. We just provide ideas, a bunch of ideas. We don't throw out ideas. We don't select excellent ideas. We combine everyone's thoughts in order to create the best product, if I could say. Finally, I would say just for all the students, don't try to just to go to the university and learn the theories and solve exams. Just try to get out of that bubble and apply what you are learning, make it, materialize it, see the physical, which is rewarding, and it gives you experience and a lot of knowledge. Builds up to real life skills, which are very important when looking for a job or when setting up your own business. Peace.
My name is Fredrik Landborg, and I'm just about to finish my 2nd out of 5 year on the master program for electrotechnology engineering at Halmstad University. The idea of the Catfish is to have 2 autonomous water vehicles that can take samples of the water and read the quality of the water without having to transport the water from the lakes. I got invited by David to join this project, and as soon as he said underwater, I decided to join because I have a huge underwater interest and I love diving. I will mainly be working on the fish design at the moment, with the custom PCB design and electronics design. Hopefully I get to work on the sensors as well. What I hope to learn the most is working with several different people with different backgrounds and from different fields, and just communicating across the fields and working together on this problem. The problem at this point, I think, is mainly the communication between the cat and the fish, and I think in the long term problems will be with the underwater currents. I just recently joined the team, but as of this far, the teamwork seems to be working really great, and there's a lot of different people with different ideas, and we have different approaches to different problems. So yeah, it seems to be working really well.
Hello, my name is Oliver and I come from Sweden, and I'm at my 2nd year of a Bachelor in Mechatronics Engineering. The project that I'm fortunate to be working on is a water drone that can measure and collect data from the water. This will enable the microbiologist or whoever is working on the problem to do this task more efficiently with the help of the drone. I joined the team a couple of weeks ago. The reason that I joined was because of David invited me into the project, and I thought that it sounded really interesting. The problem that I'm working on is the extension of the cat, which is the fish, and the connection between them. The thing that I hope to take away from all of this, besides the technical aspect, is the collaboration between the different branches of engineering that we have in the team, and also to take the project from idea to a product. The challenges with the project is hard for me to say at this point in time, but right now, because of Corona, It's harder to work in school, and since I have my own courses, the time is an issue. But with that said, I think that this opportunity gives more than it takes. So I really feel super motivated. Since I joined recently, I haven't had time to get to know the more experienced students. But with what I've seen so far, the team seems really great. So I think this will turn out really great. Yeah.
Hello. I'm going to start off by saying this. The biggest challenge is to make a video where you not seem too overexcited and not too boring. But I'll do my best here. Sorry, let's start over from that one. My name is David. I am from Sweden, and currently I'm studying mechanical engineering, and I've been doing that for 2.5 years. At the moment, I'm working on my thesis project, which is about wind turbines, and hopefully I will finish that and graduate at the end of spring. The Catfish as a product, the common goal is that everyone involved in the project are working towards to build an autonomous drone that can take continuous measurements from a lake or a pond and evaluate this and make an evaluation that tells us about the health of the lake. But the idea of the project Catfish is to bring people together from different countries and different discipline of engineering, and to learn more about the process of developing a new product, which is great, and it should, even when I'm finished here, I hope that this project continue to grow, and that new members can hopefully build upon that I have brought to the project. I joined the team because well, first off, I was sort of headhunted by Harvey and Alireza, which was very flattering, of course. They think that I'm some sort of genius. I am not. Let me tell you a secret. I am not. I'm just a normal guy that thinks that loves engineering, and I love to build stuff. Don't tell them. Okay. But mainly I love the creative freedom that this project provides, and it's a great opportunity to get to learn more about myself, but also about other people and their perspectives about the Catfish and stuff like that. At the moment I am working on the hull of the cat and the winch for the fish. This is obviously from a mechanical point of view, and there's a lot of things that needs to be taken into consideration. Just recently I've made an approximation of the total weight of the cat, which is crucial to know, because obviously the cat needs to stay afloat. Yeah. So if I know the total weight, I can design the boat properly to make it float. And there is also the distribution of the weight of the cat in order to keep it balanced. And there is also some how to fit the electronics parts on the cat to keep them safe from water and. I expect to learn more about the process of developing a new product, which so far I've learned a lot, honestly. But also I've learned to improve my communication skills, and I can practice my English, which I don't do that often. But this is a great opportunity for that, and also it's great to be able to work and collaborate and understand the language, so to speak, of other engineering disciplines. Yeah, and you gain a lot of new perspectives of designing and stuff like that. There are loads of challenges, of course, but the biggest challenge is time. Because everyone that is involved in the project are studying, obviously, and it's hard to find the time for the project. But I think personally that this limited time can be a good thing, because it forces you to document every step that you take in your work. Not because that it's easier for me to pick up where I left off, but also for to show my colleagues what I've done, and yeah, and also because when or if I leave this this project, which I hopefully I won't, but the documentation is very important for new members, because they can easily they can pick up the work that I left off as well, so so that you guys actually don't need to start all over again. How do I see the teamwork? Well, the teamwork I think is awesome, because honestly I think that everyone in the group brings their perspective, their experiences and their backgrounds to the table, which makes this group a very dynamic group and diverse, which is important in developing new stuff. Because if everyone has the same perspective, we're not going to go far in this project. This is hard, you know, speaking to no one. You look at yourself on the screen. So, but yeah, this is a good project. 2 thumbs up. Peace.
Hello, my name is Matthias. I'm studying my master program in Industrial Management and Innovation at Halmstad University. the idea with Catfish is to develop a product that is meant to take samples of the waters, like for example ponds around, well, at the beginning around Sweden. And the focus area is not just on the surface, because there's different levels in waters. So we wanted to have the cat, which goes on the surface of the water, and then also the fish, which follows along in different depths in the water to take samples on different levels to check the sediment, but also the quality of the water. I got in pretty late into the Catfish project, and I am responsible, or like the main responsible, for the media. That would be the YouTube webpage and also the Instagram that we have for the project. So I hope that I can learn a lot by being in this project, and looking forward to what the future holds. So I think this is a really interesting project because it's really future driven, and we have a really good team, like a lot of competences in a lot of different areas, because there's a lot that goes into this project, whether it be checking the chemicals, how to see what is what the different levels of the waters are in terms of purity, but also the general functions of the system. How to measure water, how to drive the cat, how to make the fish follow along in an efficient way, and also how to drive the cat without disturbing the water too much, because if you start, circulating the water in the pond, then you will change the properties because of the sediment from the bottom and all that stuff. So yeah, I think we have a really competent team, and I learn a lot about teamwork and how to work in teams on an individual level, how each person manage their individual parts, but also contribute to the team spirit, and together help to create this Catfish product that we have today. So it's gonna be really interesting to see where this project goes in the future. I believe we have a really competent team with us. Everyone is super nice and friendly, and we have a lot of fun when we meet up. I'm confident that we can make a good final product, and I do think that we have a lot of good competences to work with.
So basically, my name is Hamad Farah, basically, and I joined Catfish Project, or the Catfish Group, about June of last year, I do believe, or even a bit earlier than that, if I may not be mistaken. And I studied a master's in renewable energy systems. Prior to that, I had a bachelor's in electrical engineering from the Emirates, basically before moving out to Sweden and pursuing my master's in renewable energy systems. And basically that's where I met Ali and Harvey, and we started off with the Catfish project that you guys see today. Of course, Ali and Harvey were the ones who started, and I just joined in as one of the first members early on. In my head, of course, this definition might differ from one person to another, but I guess in my opinion, if you ask me what is the idea of Catfish, for me personally, I would say that Catfish is an ecosystem, or like an ecosystem of various components and sensors, and that have like a common or a shared goal of detecting water pollution levels within water bodies in general. When I say water bodies, it could be like a river, lake, etc., and so on. So Catfish to me is not just a project in the core, it's more of something that we need to do for our society and our community. And one of the main motivating factors that helped me in pursuing or sticking with the group was mainly due to the fact that I believed in the goal of this project, and we need to take care of our waters basically, because water is crucial for survival, and not just because of that, it's also because of the environmental aspect of what Catfish could bring to the entire ecosystem, not just the water ecosystem but everything else. So to put it in short, I think it was the true goal or the true vision that Catfish hopes to achieve that kept me motivated throughout the course of the project. As I said earlier, I met Ali and Harvey in the early stages of Catfish project, and that's how I joined. Basically, they just needed an engineer to start with the sensors and the technical part. Okay, so why? I think I pretty much answered that in the previous point as well. So I believe in the core essence or the core message of the whole, or the core value of this whole project that is trying to make our environment and our world a better place basically. So I think that's why I joined it. Well, as I said earlier, I joined as the electrical engineer, or aiding Ali and Harvey with the technical part. So basically I am the one who's responsible for the sensors, or who was responsible for the sensors, the microcontrollers, the computing side of things, and the electrical components, the circuits and everything. So partially also a little bit with motors when we introduced Michael into the group as well. Well, honestly, I've learned mostly a lot of things about how to deal with different sort of components or pollutants within, let's say, water bodies. So I never really had that environmental scope or perspective as an engineer, and I think that it's a really interesting thing to learn more about how our rivers and our, waters function in general, and what's the risk towards these sites and these ecosystem structures that we have in our society, and how could we as engineers also get involved with this within this specific field. Probably I would say the lack of professionals that of course, with all due respect to all of us, we're all, I think we're pretty good in our respective fields, but at the same time it's a different thing when you have a professional, someone who's been in that field, or who's been working with sensors, or let's say motors, or environmental analysis or something for like 20-30 years. So I think we kind of have that gap. We don't have someone to kind of like hold our hand or guide us through this, and I think that was one of the main challenges, or is still one of the main challenges, because honestly what we're doing is amazing. We have no sort of like mentor or someone who kind of literally pinpoints at what we're supposed to do. So it was pretty much all by our efforts, like from organizing meetings to down to the technical parts, and everything else was just pretty much done by students. So yeah, that's, I think it itself is quite a challenge, but something that we could overcome. Another challenge I do believe was, of course, the economical aspect. We always had to keep in mind that we have a budget, so we didn't really have that luxury of spending money on the most expensive, top of the market tier machines or sensors or whatever. Catfish, or the essence of Catfish, is teamwork. Without teamwork, we would not have come this far, honestly. We were very. I am very grateful to have worked with one of the most talented people that I've met so far. I'm very grateful that we have this communication level, that we are able to, how should I say, communicate thoughts and ideas and different sort of messages without the need of going through a struggle or having some form of like miscommunication between the team members. And I think that is in itself is a blessing, because when it comes to companies, and not companies but in general, when it comes to working in teams and projects, you're always going to have some issues with getting your message through. But I never felt that at Catfish. I felt that everybody was welcoming towards new suggestions and ideas, and that itself helped in motivating me to exceed my limits. So basically, I was always encouraged to do whatever I saw fit, in some way, of course, after consulting the team. The team was always supportive of what I did, and at the same time, I wanted to provide that same support to all my team members. And I think teamwork is basically, as I said, the bread and butter of this whole project and this whole team.
So my name's Michael. I'm in the end of my first year of my Master in Embedded and Intelligent Systems. The idea of Catfish is to use technology in a beneficial way for environment. In this case, to analyze water pollution, water quality here in Sweden, in our environment, as well as potentially in the whole world, because we, or the team, or the managers of the team, the inventors, saw this flaw in general, in that we have the monitoring of water and water quality is something where we don't do so much right now, and where we don't have so many solutions, which is a growing field, but where still there's a lot of potential to develop and to improve and to come with new solutions. The reason why I found it interesting in the beginning, when Harvey talked about it to me, was because I had a background at Airbus, where we work with satellites, and many think about Airbus only as a plane manufacturer, but what we did was actually that, and what not so many people think of, to solve problems on our Earth with the data from our satellites. So, and this was what I really liked, to use the technical options that we have to focus on our Earth, and to get to be able to solve those problems in completely new way by help of the technology. And this was exactly what potential I saw in this project, to tackle this problem of water pollution and everything that is related to that, with new technical solutions where we have none to date, or solutions are only right now in the development phase, but we could fasten this process with the contribution of this project. So yeah, and I was because I came from a working background, I always wanted to use my time, also use this master again also after it, maybe again at Airbus, maybe somewhere else, to use the technical skills that I get there, to use it in a beneficial way, not only for me or for my salary, but yeah, for society and for the world we live in. So this was my motivation at the beginning when I couldn't know then how the team would be. I knew, okay, Harvey seems to be a great guy. Ali, which I get to know in this week, also seemed also to be nice. And now I know a lot better, so they are great. So join the team. But I didn't know about anything about the team right then. But just the topic interested me, and was already a great motivation, which convinced me to join. In the very beginning, so in the stage of the first prototype, I was in general part of a two-man team for the electronics, make the motors run, look that they get the proper signals from the controls. So just in general the electronics. And now for the second stage, because in general those the control of our Catfish project and of the devices were interesting to me. I decided to go more deep into that in the autonomy part. So now we want to make our device autonomous, so that we don't control it directly, and it's my part to figure out how we can implement that, and so that we only give the task in the beginning, and then it does everything by itself during the process. I expect two things to learn from this or two areas in which I want to learn from this project. One is the technical part, that I think it's cool to spend your time during your master with something that also interests you, why you do this master, and to use and develop your technical skills in a practical field which interests you. So this is one of my ambitions, and the other one is in general to improve working in a team, to also just enjoy working in a team. I also from my working background, I was also used to work in teams, and I always thought it to be beneficial, or also just more attractive than to sit only on a desk in my office by myself. Challenges of Catfish are huge, or are many. It's not that you cannot overcome them, but yeah, there are just so many, and challenges are in general, find a time besides the university to get the knowledge that you need. It's not that it's so hard to get the knowledge, but you have to find the time. Also to find the time together for all the things that you cannot do only on your own. So to find common spots, and then every time we run into things that we have not foreseen, technical challenges, so that the challenges are quite flexible. So from every week or every month, you some things are much easier than you thought in the beginning, and some things come up that are very hard that you haven't even seen before. Yeah, the teamwork is one of the main parts why I'm also still into the project. Right now we're working almost the whole study year. It's not a whole year, but the whole study year on that project. And I'm still completely into it, because it's also, we had better and worse times regarding our time in this project and the progress that we could make. In some months we could make a lot of progress, in some months less. But it was, every Saturday that we meet together in our meetings, it was like a highlight, and all the times together are just great. And it's a lot of fun, or I like it very much that everyone is very positive in this project. So just from the atmosphere, it's not about feeling stressed or something, but just being also optimistic, because why not? Being positive. Everyone wants to contribute in a positive way, give good impulses and everything, and so it's a very supportive environment and something that's really fun.
Hey, I'm Julian. I'm studying together with Michael in Intelligent Embedded Systems. I've got a background in interaction design. I think the idea of Catfish can be split into two parts. One is definitely to develop something that can help with water research and in a way make this world a better place. But on the other hand, it's a great project to just explore our own ideas and challenge ourselves technically and come up with our own things and work on a very interesting project with a lot of self-guided studies. I joined the team in the beginning of the second stage, end of 2019, just after they had finished the first prototype and testing the first prototype. And I joined it because I heard about it from Michael and I thought it was a really interesting and cool idea. And when I first met the team, I was directly on board with everyone. The main part that I'm currently working on solving is communicating with the autonomy of the vehicle to coordinate getting data samples and storing the data samples and making them accessible in the cloud. And let me think about that. What am I doing here? Mostly hanging out, drinking coffee, and talking nonsense. No. So yeah, the main part that I'm working on in this project is coordinating, getting data samples and storing them in a database to be accessible later on. And at the same time, I'm thinking about the integration of sensors and how to communicate between the different parts of the project. So on the one hand, I'm expecting to learn something about water research and what we can benefit from, how we can benefit from it, what we can find out, and how we can apply technology in this field. But at the same time, I'm also hoping or expecting to learn more about embedded systems, gathering data, storing data, making vehicles move autonomously and monitor, control them remotely. It's a huge field. I'm hoping, or I have learned a lot already. I am hoping to learn a lot more. And also, we've got a great team, so it's really fun to just learn about the teamwork. Implement your own ideas, take ownership is really important in this project. Take care of you. The main challenge is currently coordinating time between other responsibilities and this project. But when it comes to the project, the main challenges are getting everything to work. The team works great. We've got a fantastic team. It's really fun to even just hang out and to just spend time together, think about ideas, plan ahead, make up concepts, discuss what's going on in the project and in the world. So teamwork in this project is great. Collaboration-wise, we all kind of have our own subgroups. So the collaboration on certain tasks is not always super tight because we all kind of have our own fields that we're working in, but the bringing it all together and discussing the individual ideas and coming up with concepts together definitely works really well. Join the team.
Reza, Ali Reza Ismail Zadeh. I study industrial management and innovation in Halmstad University. It's almost done. I'm working on the thesis right now, and then yeah, here we are. Okay, Catfish. Catfish for me is it's not a product. It's not a object. For me, it's a movement. It's I see Catfish project as a movement towards sustainability, like how to use technology, how to use tools and devices to get more data about the environment. And then as we know more about the environment, we can do more for environment. We can tackle the issues, problems like pollution and stuff like that. So our first project is Catfish project, and the Catfish project is a device to capture the environment, the data from environment, from like down in the sediment, in the surface and above water, to perceive the environment as it is, to then it give us the power to design something or to like find a solution. It was a competition about Baltic Sea, so we supposed to find a solution for the Baltic Sea, so because it's one of the most polluted seas all over the world. So we were invited in a meeting and discussed about the competition. So we had some, I would say, some ideas, which was like none of them was good, but it was just like an ideation meeting. But after that meeting, Joachim suggested us to work on, instead of working on that competition, we can find a solution for Nissan River, which is almost here. So we can try and we can develop more different solutions to find a way. So that was the first day of Catfish, I would say. Even though we didn't have any idea, we didn't have any name for it or something, but gradually we started working on it. We like consider different designs and different problems, because first of all we went for plastic, but plastic is not a big problem in Sweden. Mainly like the chemicals are more problematic right now. So we found the problem first, and then we started to find the solution that first of all fits the problem, and then it's possible to do it in the university. We have some resources here. We have Fab Lab, we have like different departments, they know about their part, but like to get everything together and find the solution to that fits the environment, fits the problem, that was our job. So yeah, basically that was the reason we started, but we really wanted to expand the team. We really wanted to bring more people, because the knowledge sharing inside the teamwork is the main value for us. Like when Mike came to the team, or when Julian came to the team, or others, they came with the background, they came with the knowledge. So when we work together, we get to know about their field, although we are not going to be expert in their field, but we know what is going on there. We know like the basics, we know the general knowledge. So that is really good for us, for like everyone in the project that want to work for company later on, or want to work with their own idea, to have a general idea about different fields, different expertise. Then yeah, that was the main thing, I think. Nothing. think I try to do is, first of all, to make the team more productive and bigger, because if we have more people and they can work with each other in a good way, then we have more knowledge sharing, we have more progress in the project. So my part, I would say, is not that technical, although I started with technical design, like, because nobody was there, so like we had to learn and we had to apply our limited knowledge to design something. But now that we have more people from different fields, they took over their part. So I think my part is more to put the team together, keep the team together, and provide them with the resources they need. So we need money for like buying the stuff. We need cooperation with companies, with university, with different departments. I think my part is to take care of this, I would say, coordination. And then, of course, if something is not working well, I have to put more time into that to help with others to fix the problems. I would say, first of all, for me it's a simulation of R&D. I really want to learn how to work and how to cooperate in an R&D environment. That is the best thing I can learn from this project. And then how to bring ideas, how to bring more people to solve that problem. And then that is the thing I'm looking for in general. And then, of course, I really want to learn a little bit of every and each expertise inside the project. I want to know more about like embedded system, what they do, or like environmental science, what they do, what is the concern. And the fact that we have a really big problem in the center, that everyone with different expertise are collaborating to solve that problem, is like the main thing that I think, yeah. It's so dynamic. It changes every day. We have challenges to provide the team with enough resources whenever we need something. Like, of course, like the technologies are somehow unlimited. We can think about like really complicated things, but at the same time, bringing those technologies into the project is a challenge. Cooperation is a challenge because nowadays everyone is super busy, and bring everyone on the same table to spend time and talk together and find a solution. That is a big challenge, but like so far we have done it in a good way. I think we have a good teamwork. I think that is basically the main idea. And sometimes some decisions are bring challenge. For example, we had the idea we didn't know that where we are going at the first moment. So we were working on like even thinking about going to market and making a product for the market, but that was, of course, a bad decision at first because we don't have the final solution yet. So that wrong decision was the reason that we like lost something like 1-2 months. We couldn't do anything productive, just like we were searching for different that was just an example, because like when we make a decision, it has consequences. So that was that is I think a big challenge, facing those consequences. I don't know if the people are working in this project are exceptional, or all of us, all the people, they can be so positive, they can work so positively together. But it is, for me, it's a little bit strange that like everyone is so positive, everyone is putting time, putting efforts, and putting like all of them are enthusiastic about the problem and the way to solve it. So what I see here is that nobody is looking for status, nobody is looking for, I don't know, money, or nobody is looking for, everyone is here because they love to solve something, they love to solve a problem, they love to make a contribution to the society. So that is the reason that I think, and all of the people in the team, they're self-motivated. So that is the reason that they can work together in a good way. We don't have hierarchy in the team. We don't have like something like manager or like someone in charge in that sense to like dictate the team. But it work. The whole team works in a really smooth way. Like everyone works together. Things are happening. But at the same time, we don't have a decision center, someone that take decision. And I think it's a really valuable thing that we have in the Catfish project. And I think although people are changing, people are coming and going, like some of us, they find jobs in different cities and they have to leave, but still we keep the cooperation, still we talk together, we ask questions, so of course we have some active members, but the ones that are not active, they're still in the team. They're like they help us with the progress. So yeah.
Okay.
My name is Kevin Katlakoski-Ruonala, and I am currently attending my second year of computer engineering studies here at the University of Halmstad. What I really like about the concept of Catfish is that the final result has the potential to help benefit something so important as water quality. The project immediately had my interest, since it had so many different parts that each one, just on their own, seemed to have a potential to help the participants evolve as an engineer. I first joined the team for a meeting yesterday, and I joined the team after a friend of mine who I had taken 2 classes with. He studies mechanical engineering, and he's part of the team, and he asked me to join. At the moment I will work with the sensors. I am really excited to be part of such a big project. I expect that this will help me get a feel for what it takes to finalize a project of this size. I am sure that this will come in handy in the future, not least in the job market. I see it as a huge opportunity to be part of a team that is so diverse, both when it comes to the vast variety of disciplines, but also the many different nationalities of the team members. It is obvious to me that many of our problems, now and in the future, will have to be solved in cooperation with each other globally, and I think that Catfish is a great small-scale example of such a cooperation locally here in Halmstad.
Hey everyone, my name is Amina Ahmed Hodzic. I'm coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was studying my master's program with a major in biomedicine at Halmstad University, and I graduated last year in November. Also, I joined the Catfish somewhere around November last year. Since being part of the Catfish, I was mostly involved in the research part of chemical and environmental analysis. Well, some of my friends were part of the Catfish before me, and they thought that it would be nice to have me. And they needed someone who knows more about chemical engineering than they do. I would say the biggest challenge for me was to learn more about water analysis and what variables are important and how to interpret the data and results. I had some backgrounds within chemistry, but I can say that I learned a lot until now. But it would be really nice to have more people who will join us and who will know better how to work with this and with whom we can work together to improve everything. I think it's amazing to be involved in a project like this because you're surrounded and you're in a constant contact and you're working with the people from different backgrounds, from different countries, with the different perspectives, and you're able to learn more and more every day. So I guess that part of teamwork is the best part of Catfish.